Lava is a powerful tool that can design your shear walls, bearing walls, beams, and we can also customize lava. So I'm going to show you in this video how we can go into the database there in the back behind the lava, all of the powerful tools in lava. We can go right into the shear walls and we can customize this information. So lava has a default database that resides back here based on the type of wind and seismic you've selected. When you start a new project without anything in it, we're going to have very low seismic and very low wind. So if I look at seismic, I'm in design category A, and if I'm in the wind, I'm in the 80. So this is the lowest level of wind and seismic. In that, we have a corresponding database that is picking up that low level hold downs and field fabricated as well as field fabricated walls. So these walls are going to be based on very small zone A, B, and very small wind loads. So if we go back to the database, we'll see a list of different kinds of walls that will work for this lower seismic system. Drywall, we can see gypsum walls we then jump up to 3/8 thick panel and some larger walls. So very small range there. If we go up to the exterior walls here, we'll see that we have even some also stucco in here. This can be used. Those are currently turned off for usage, but you can see that they have the levels there. So what I might want to do though is I might want to start to set up a template that I would use commonly. If I am in an area that is in the low seismic and low wind, then I may use this as my template file. But what I suggest is to start out with something like I'm sitting in Southern California, so for me, most of my projects are going to be in the higher seismic zone. So I'm going to create a template that starts out with jumps into that higher seismic area. So I'm going to put some values in here to at least jump me into a little bit of a more category. So once you do that, you'll see inside of this building definition, I am now in a zone that is going to be for the seismic for A, B, C, D, E, and F. So that's a little bit more likely of what my database might be. So I'm going back into the database and now I see I don't get any of those gypsum walls or any of the types of walls there. I'm only in this higher seismic zone. So this is what I'm going to start to edit. To edit these walls, the way I do this, I'm going to go ahead and go into the Settings, Preferences, and you'll see that there's a tab called Reset. This allows me to reset some of the data, and I'm going to temporarily unlock my database. So clicking on that button there, I can say OK, and I can jump into this database. Now, our default database inside of Lava gives you a lot of different values. These values here have names for the mark on the plan, and we have some descriptions and information. The major pieces that are used inside of this you can find them right here if you go into your help documentation, and this is on the CBS2 LLC website. If you come over into our information, you can go to using lava and databases, and every single element inside of here can be found. But if we go to the Shear Wall tab, you'll find exactly what things mean. One of the bigger things is you'll notice that some things are required and some things are not required. So it will tell you here if they're not applicable. That means that maybe later on in the future we'll be adding these features so they're in the database, but they are not required or not applicable, for example. But what the major things that you're going to be interested in changing, if you want to add your own system in here, you can change the description, the mark on the foundation and the description. Those two things can be adjusted to match what you're using. The name of the mark there, so you can call this whatever. If you have A instead, maybe you're using letters for those instead of, you can just type on top of that. You can change this panel, and then you can also adjust the capacity. So currently Lava uses ASD only, so this is the capacity that you'd want to use in PLF. And then we also want to worry about which is the stiffness, so kips per inch, and that will affect the deflection calculations. So you've got all of these values for earthquake and so these two values here for earthquake, as well as when you look here in the wind. The aspect ratio information is listed here, but if you jump over to that, so usually we're not going to adjust that check, but we could also adjust the wind. We have a wind capacity for ASD and the stiffness capacity for ASD. The rest of this information is going to be shown on our plan, and you'll see that also described further. So you want to go in and adjust all of these values to match what is your system. This can be anything from the system that you are using. Once you're finished, it is important that you go here and say save. So you'll finish the project, save it out as a template file, and then this will now be locked and ready to go. Hope this video helps you customize your lava use and creating more templates. Thanks for watching the video, and check out more on lavabuild.com.